heard you say this in a podcast before, where you said when you sing, you sing for Maharaj-ji, like
I sing to Maharaj.
You sing to Maharaj-ji. That kind of surrender, that kind of love, how can one achieve that?
What you love is what you'll think about. So there's no mystery. The problem is that people get sidetracked by their own desires.
Yeah.
And you can't, there's no escape from that. You have to, a certain amount of your desires have to be satisfied because it's simply hunger.
Yeah.
And we're hungry beings, and we have to eat, and we have to eat many different types of things. But at some point, one hopes that one will recognize that what we're looking for isn't really available out there. Mm-hmm. So when I say I sing to my guru, I'm not singing to something outside. I'm singing to this presence that I am inside of all the time, that everyone's inside of all the time. And the chanting practice deepens my awareness of that presence. And that's where I want to be. So that's good.
It is. It's definitely good. You know, you brought up, yeah, please.
Chanting is not music. It has music involved with it, but it's not about the music. And I've said many times that the music is when a child needs to take medicine, mm-hmm. the medicine is hidden in a sweet syrup. Yeah. So you drink the syrup and you get the medicine. Mm-hmm. It's not the syrup that cures the disease. It's the medicine that's hidden in the syrup. Mm-hmm. So the music is the syrup and the name is the medicine. So
wow. Okay.
You don't need the music to take the medicine, but it makes it easier. Because we like music. Yeah. We enjoy singing. We enjoy all that. It feels good. And so we'll do more of it. But it's the name that is the medicine, not the music itself.
Yeah.
So because I love music and the whole thing manifested like this. So.
I mean, I'm so happy that you brought up the topic of the difference between chanting and music, because I actually about to talk about that right away. So you took the words right off of my mouth, and then and what you said so far was so beautiful the way you explained it. I actually asked this question before in podcasts as well, because I've always been very curious, and you talked about the music side of it, that chanting is about the name. And music is about, the instrumental, the music aspect of it. But would you say that there's also a difference in the way you actually do it? Like, does it make a difference in how much you actually understand the words that you're saying? Or does it matter that you're just pronouncing them correctly for someone who's maybe from the US, someone who's not born and brought up in India, is not part of the culture, and they want to get into chanting, but they just don't understand? And even if they are trying, and of course, you can relate to this personally. What would you
well, the first time I sang the Hanuman Chalisa to Maharaj-ji, he tried to correct me.
Okay.
On one word. And I just went, and my mind just stopped. And he said, it's okay, just sing. And he never corrected us after that, ever. Even though he was pronouncing every other word. The most important thing in spiritual practice is your intention. Not what you say, what you do, whether you have the right pronunciation or the wrong. That's somewhat useful and important. But the most important thing is your intention, because that's what's actually impelling you in one direction or another. If you're singing with a desire to be famous, with a desire to make money, or a desire to attract attention to yourself, that's what you'll get. And you won't get what you really want, which is real love or reality. So the most important thing is intention. And that's something that actually unfold as time goes on. Your intention can change. Your heart can be, the mirror of the heart can be cleaned and polished so that, like it says in Hanuman Chalisa, I take the dust of the lotus feet of the Guru to clean the mirror of my heart. That's the most important thing. Your intention, why you're doing what you're doing. And you can't fake it successfully. I mean, you can fake it, but you can't fool yourself. Truly. You can fool yourself for a while, but the problem is that you won't, some part of you knows it. And so one has to pay attention to why one does what one does and what one wants. And there are ways to get the things you want, but spiritual practice should be done for the sake of the heart and for the sake of real love, in order for it to actually bear the fruit that you truly want. But we're not, most of us, we're just on the path and we're doing the best we can. And it's a constant process of purification and cleaning up our motivation and becoming more aware of the places that we're stuck. And coming to terms with how hungry we are for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then figuring out how to deal with that, There's nothing wrong with desires. There's nothing wrong with fame. There's nothing wrong with money. There's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with food. There's nothing wrong with all that stuff. But if you expect it to make you happy, you'll be very disappointed. It brings pleasure.
Exactly.
But pleasure is one of the pairs of opposites, Wherever there's pleasure, there's also pain. Wherever there's fame, there's also shame. Wherever there's loss, there's also gain. In this world, it goes back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't hold on to anything forever.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can ultimately hold on to is your own true nature, which is always here, always present. The reality of your soul and the supreme being, and the fact that behind all our delusions, there is a reality, but we have to find that. And that's what the path is about. Finding out what is true and what has always been true and what will always be true.
Wow.
And it has nothing to do with who we think we are. But unfortunately, most of us, we do suffer because we identify with the delusion of being a separate self.
Yeah.
And so we keep trying to feed that self with all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't lead to much real happiness.